Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's Wednesday morning. We're working on the sixth limb of yoga, the Dharana, which is one-pointed focus. So we've come through the yamas and niyamas, the asana, the pranayama, and pratyahara was Monday. So with this one, we focus, we bring all of our attention. I'm going to go ahead and read the definition of Dharana, and then I'm going to kind of tell you what's going on in my world and how I'm trying to create that one-pointed focus. So grab a cushion, have a soft seated position on your mat, whatever's comfortable for you. Maybe you're just watching this video sitting on your couch. That's okay too. We're absorbing yoga however we get it. One-pointed concentration. This is the sixth limb, the Dharana. Asanas, pranayamas, and pratyahara help prepare us for meditation. When the mind moves from experiencing random scattered thoughts to single one-pointed concentration, it can then find complete absorption in the present moment. By practicing one-pointed concentration, we clear the mind of all distracting thoughts. This can be achieved by focusing on your breath, counting, reciting mantras, or observing a candle flame or an image. Because we are constantly entangled in reliving past memories or living in anticipation of what is to come, it is very seldom that we live in the present moment. It is even less common to be mindful of the present moment with a calm and focused mind. However, this is crucial when trying to achieve self-realization. The power is in the now. Okay, so we one-pointed focus today. So kind of what I've done to build that one-pointed focus, to sink a little bit deeper in, if you will, is to create the whole atmosphere for yoga, for the practice, for getting deeper into the pose. And it doesn't even really matter what pose you do. If you're healing a part of your body today and you want to sink deeper into that pose, you know, it's more of the focus. We might focus more into the asana, what the bones are doing in that pose. Maybe to find more length, we set an intention emotionally or mentally that we're going to find some length there, some opening, some new space, because that's really what yoga is all about, is expansion, contracting, coming back in, and expanding farther out. So today I've kind of created a whole atmosphere. I have my bolster, my blocks, everything is out here that makes my yoga practice a little bit easier. So, and then creating a little ambiance. I had a friend that gave me some incense for the new moon. So I'm burning those. I have my candles lit around the house. I have a nice cup of sweet and spicy tea, which is probably my favorite tea. So good. 6 days off coffee now. It's a miracle, I know. To do it all again. Just gonna set that over there. Awesome. So again, we're going to focus on poses today. It's kind of like a freebie. I'm going to go through some hip openers because that's where I am usually most challenged. If you're having some shoulder issues, you know, chest expansion, so you can follow along with me and we'll do those. But if you have other things today that you need your one-pointed focus on, feel free to do those stretches. If you want to write something out to the side, that would be great. If you're on the live class, that won't work if you're taking this class 2 weeks from now. But I'll be there with you in spirit. So go back and watch a shoulder class maybe. Good. So let's go ahead ahead and I'm just going to come off the bolster if you're following me today. Take it out to the side. Let's go ahead and bring it down, and we'll start with some cat and cows. Just to warm up that upper back. Again, make sure the fingers are open wide. We have big, strong hands. Lifting out of just the arch of the hand, lifting the forearm up, activating the elbow, so we have a micro bend in the elbow. We're not pressing forward. We're lifting the forearm up. We're lifting the armpit up on both sides. Very good. Think about lifting those forearms up, activating the elbows, and the hips are right over the knees. And we'll start with that thoracic lift into the spine and bring the belly button in and up, drawing the chin to the throat. Exhaling. Inhaling cow. We bring the heart center forward through the arms that are lifting and lift the chin to the sky. Exhaling cow. Thoracic lift, tucking the belly button in and up. Inhaling cow. So just noticing that our movement is a little bit slower. We're focused through each part of the movement. Exhaling cat. Chin to the throat, lifting the thoracic spine, tucking the belly button in. And then we'll move the thigh bones back slightly, creating more space for the belly to lift into. Inhaling cow. Keep breathing in, keep breathing in, keep breathing in. Press the chin forward. Exhaling cat. Lifting the thoracic spine, tucking the belly in, taking the thigh bones back, lifting the forearms, lifting the armpits. Inhaling cow. Bringing the heart center through, lifting the chin to the sky, and then pressing the chin forward. Exhaling cat. And we'll come back to a neutral spine and sit back in child's pose. Having a seat back, we might lift the thoracic spine before we take the hands out, hollow up the belly, and then reach the hands forward. Keeping the forearms active, we lift the elbows, lift the armpits, and seat the hips farther back. Feeling that stretch under the shoulder blades. Keep lifting those forearms to the sky. Breathing out into the side body. Just on another quick note, if you guys can't hear my music, that's fine. Play something soft and relaxing to you. Yoga is universal. Unless I'm doing a slow flow and you're playing techno. So let's gently walk the hands back. We'll stack the fists. Hollow up the thoracic spine so we lift up out of the armpits, bringing the third eye down. Keep lifting that upper thoracic spine towards the sky. Lifting the belly button and pressing the greater trochanters or the hip joints out to the side. Pressing the toe buds together, and again, the hips moving out to the side. Deep breaths. The tendency would want to be to relax here, but we're going to push those greater trochanters out. So even if it's just with the mind, we're pressing out. Hollowing up the belly, seating the hips back a little bit deeper so we bring the tailbone down like between the feet. Press the toe buds in. Press the tibia, the foreleg bone, down into the mat. Lift the belly, seat the hips. Pressing the hips out to the side. So we have a lot going on here in this child's pose. That's why we came back to the third eye. We have to visualize a lot of things happening in our body. When we can begin to visualize motion happening, we can get deeper into a cellular level, but we have to start from the outside and move in slowly sometimes. Focus on moving the hips out. And gently relax, release. And we'll come back up and flow through cat and cow. Noticing your breath. Same movements. We might just pick up the pace ever so slightly, not much, just a little smoother. So I'm going to let you think about the movement of your body and talk a little bit less. You know where you're headed now. Finding our flow. Taking the time to maybe stop in a pose where we feel a little bit more deeply. Whether you want to refer to that as pain, flexion, contraction. Just hold into that space. Bringing our attention, our focus to that one space that's really crying out for our attention or intention. And when we feel that crying out subside, and it will, we can return to the flow. We'll all meet back in a neutral spine and coming back to hero's pose. So we'll throw some shoulders in there. Let's go ahead and reach back. Turn the palms facing back, reach towards each other. So if this is as far as you can go today, let's roll the shoulders back, bring the whole rib cage back, and lift the heart center, lifting the chin. If you can interlace those fingers and press back. Let's move into that full stretch. Noticing those areas that are tighter. Like for me, I can totally feel that the right shoulder is much farther forward than the left. So I'm going to roll that shoulder back a little bit more. And take it back into the space that I know that it was meant to be in. So notice that in your own body. Are you in the correct position? Do you feel twisted, a little bit off? Gently releasing the shoulders. Let's go ahead and tuck the toes under in the back. And we'll sit back, stretching out the feet. Oh, that feels better. I added that little twist to that shoulder opening there. And my shoulder feels a little bit farther back. So that might be a pose that is unique to my body that I need. A lot of times people have forward shoulder on one side. So if you have a forward shoulder or you feel like you're in a twist, this might be a nice pose for you. Interlacing the fingers and turning in the direction of the forward shoulder. Rolling that shoulder back and lengthening. I feel like it's important to move the neck here, like looking in the opposite direction and then tilting the head back. I feel that all the way down the fascia. So tuning in a little deeper, one-pointed focus is in the body. Noticing the feet right now. And gently releasing. And we'll come back to child's pose, tucking the toes under. Let's go ahead and take the knees open here. Stacking the fists. We might move the head side to side. Notice how everything feels, how it moves. Let's go ahead and lift the thoracic spine, pressing out of the forearms. Hollow up the belly and seat the hips a little bit deeper. We might go ahead and release the fists if that's an option for you and bring the third eye down. Reaching the hands back to the sides. Lifting the seat bones up towards the sky. And keep lifting those seat bones up towards the sky. Think about bringing the belly down and the chest down. We might have to reposition our head. Notice all that work that's going in around the hips. Down. Really deep in the hip flexors as we're squeezing in. We're shortening that distance. They're short all day long. We're giving them what they really want. Bringing the hands out to the side, coming up. Bring the knees in, circle sweep the arms up. And exhale, the hands behind the back. Open up the heart to the sky and reach back. Bring the whole rib cage back and reach. And gently come up. So I'm going to take my bolster back because I think that will make me feel better. That's a lot of work. when we do that pose. We reach back, interlace if that's an option for you. How are we getting from here to back there? We're going to lift, bring the whole rib cage back, begin to open up the heart, bring the hips forward, and breathe. And release. Ooh, fronts of the legs. I'm super tight there. So I might start a little differently than that. It's all good. Remember, we're kind of stretching out those areas that are tight for us today. If you've been practicing yoga for a while, if you haven't, following along with me is great. It's kind of it's one-pointed focus. We're creating our atmosphere here today, not just about the asanas. It's about listening. It's about what do I need. For me, I know I need to open up my hip flexors, my hips, all those rotators. And I'm just guiding you through, focusing on the same thing, perhaps. Or wherever you're healing in your body, if while you're doing these poses that you feel new movement in those areas. So remember, we're all unique, we're all different, and it might just be about creating the atmosphere and focusing that you're thinking about other things. Maybe. And so I'm going to go ahead and take a leg back over the bolster. I'm going to come to lunge for this first and come down with my blocks beside me. So my thigh bone is on the bolster and back. If you want to have your toes under, that's great. Bring them down, lift. Oh, that feels so good. I'm going to think about pressing my thigh bone down and into the bolster, the blanket. You can do this just on the mat too. We're lifting out of the forearms, lifting the armpits, drawing the chin towards the throat. Creating that dynamic tension. Noticing the origins and insertions of those muscles, the connective tissue. In that leg that's back. We might tuck the toes under now if we've been on the feet. We might walk the blocks back and come up a little bit higher. So I just move from my palms to my knuckles up, softening the booty and back, pressing the thigh bone down and into the mat, creating a deeper sense of awareness. Continuing to lift, upper body is strong. Breathing into the belly. Lifting the pelvic floor as we exhale. We might add a little bit of internal rotation to that back leg by slightly moving that left shoulder towards the right knee. Lifting up nice and tall. Internal rotation, back leg. And gently releasing to the front. Let's go ahead and set those out to the side, coming forward, turning the toes under, and we'll come up and take the other leg back. Wow, that felt so good. Coming into the lunge, take the back leg back. Grabbing our blocks, we'll start with the blocks a little bit out in front. Lifting the forearms, lifting the armpits, back toes are tucked under. Noticing where we feel this stretch. If we want to add on to this, we can walk the blocks back, tuck the back toes under, use our fists, and lift. Open up the heart center, open up the belly. Drawing the chin to the throat, lengthening out of the crown. Breathing. Pressing that femur bone down and into the bolster or the pillow or the mat. We want to add a little internal rotation at that back leg. We'll bring that right shoulder towards the left knee. Keep lifting up and out of the forearms, the armpits. Very small movements for big change. Focusing deeper into the body. Maybe visualizing that femur bone all the way down. And gently coming back to center. And press back out of the front leg, coming down. Turning the back toes under and take it all the way back. From this high position, let's go ahead and turn the toes under, have a seat back on the heels. We'll bring a block forward and come down for child's pose. Or stack the fists wherever you're at. If you don't have a bolster and you're on your mat, stack your fists. And then we'll gently come up. So in this position, we're either have the toes tucked under, so we're sitting on our heels. We can have the bolster in front. I just totally feel like I want to support my body today. Good. Otherwise, we can reach back and let's check those shoulders again, interlace the fingers, and open the heart to the sky. So the beautiful thing about fascia and the way that the body is all connected is if I were to release this shoulder, I might release this leg as well. When the fascia begins to open and you get all this piezoelectricity going off and it's like, oh, I like this opening. I'm going to soften up here, and that takes the tension out of a lower space. So think about that as we go through our practice. Tuning into the electrical system of the body. That's the fascia. It's the conductor, I should say. Breathing into the heart center, lengthening back, totally dropping into your yoga, immersing yourself in the body and the space that surrounds the body, the subtle body. So for me, I notice that shoulder is dropping back. Not quite there yet. Let's go ahead and release. So we're going to move into, I might do these like this. So a little bit more depth into the quadricep, I think, for me. Hopefully for you, if you're doing these, you're going to get some benefit, I promise. So I'm going to actually step over. I think I'll have both blocks up. And I'm going to come into a lunge. And again, but I'm going to bring that back foot or the front foot back a little bit so that when I come down, I'm closer to my hip. So my knee might actually almost be down here. and I'm going to come up. And now I'm going to think about pressing that femur into the edge. My blocks are a little bit lower here. The glutes are relaxed. And I'm a little bit deeper in the pose. You can always come up if that's somewhere you need to take a little bit of pressure off. That feels amazing too. So I'm going to move just to make sure that my quadricep is all the way on the bolster. And we're going to move into that internal rotation of the back leg. So I'm going to take my right shoulder towards my left leg. And this time I'm going to bring my left hand to the hip and roll the shoulder back and look over the shoulder. Lifting up and out of the forearm in front. Deep breathing. Relax the booty. Lifting the heart. Lengthening through the crown, lifting up out of the forearm. And gently releasing. Coming back to the center. Fist for wrist. Let's come up a little bit higher. And move a little bit farther back. So I'm going to bring those blocks back. I've maintained that internal rotation. Breathing, lengthening back through the back foot. Stretch that leg back. And try to press the pinky toes down and back. Oh. Lifting out of the forearms. Pinky toes down. Lengthening the toes back. And gently release. Tucking the back toes under. Pressing up. Bend the knee. Ooh, come back. That was spectacular. I don't know if you guys got to the shaky point. Hopefully. Let's walk those blocks out. We're going to switch sides. Check the knee. Walk it back. So again, so the knee's not down on the rug. This is a perfect place to start. Rolling the shoulders back. And again, we might lift here. Nice deep breaths. Just taking the time to notice how that feels. One pointed focus. We're in the breath. We're in that back extended leg. Think about pressing that femur bone down and into the bolster. We can walk those blocks back a little bit. We want to make sure that the knee just does not overextend the toes here, and that that front foot is all the way down. And we're going to add a little bit. We'll make sure that we're up nice and tall through this, and we'll bring the left shoulder towards the right knee and the hand to the hip. Rolling the shoulder back. Lifting up and out of the block on the other side, if you have a block. Books. breathing. So again, this helps us internally rotate that back hip, so we're lifting up to the sky from the inner thigh back, pressing the pinky toes down and in. Rolling the shoulders back, lengthening. And gently releasing. So we'll come fist for wrist. Those blocks are in close. We're maintaining that internal rotation, and we're going to lift here and take that back leg back and press the femur bones down into the block or into the bolster, breathing. Pinky toes down, extend the foot back, back, back. Feel all that circulation moving into that leg. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting the forearms, and gently release. Opening the hands, coming up, wowza. And down. That stretch is amazing. I don't think I've done that for a while. Bring the belly forward, releasing the low back. Take the seat bones back. We'll gently release the blocks. If you have a bolster pillow, let's go ahead for a few deeper poses here. I'm going to have a seat on my bolster. Still staying in my whole universe that I've created, having a little sip of tea. My incense is almost burnt out. It smells so good in here. Remember, sometimes our yoga practice isn't about doing 54 Surya Namaskars, or, sometimes it's about presence, of being here now, basically. So where am I going to stick with the hips? We'll check the shoulders again here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and start with just a little modified turtle. So we bring the feet flat. I guess I can move those out a little bit. Good. And we come to the edge of our bolster. So now we have that tilt in the hip, that anterior tilt, and we're just going to reach out and around. We lift the forearms like we have and do. Lift the armpits and bring the shoulder blades back. So we lead with the stomach. Oh, this always feels so good. Leading with the stomach. Let it drop. Might wind down a little bit more. Just taking some nice deep breaths in. Tuning into the low back, tuning into the belly. And gently coming up. And we'll move into a little butterfly. So we're on the blades of the feet here. Pull my pants up. And we just allow the knees to drop open. So I'm just on the edge of the bolster. It's like my ischial tuberosities are like getting some traction between the bone and the origin of the hamstring. So that's all. It's only maybe like an inch or 2 inches, but it's amazing just the force of gravity, what that does in attraction. We don't have to have a lot of pressure to release the fascia, but we do have to have circulation. So aware of that, I'm just going to sit in this pose, lifting up and out. And I'm just going to think about, and hopefully you are too, even if it's just intentionally we're coming into more awareness of this lower area of our body. And we can direct the energy down through the spine and just add an ever so slightly little bit of pressure down into those ischial tuberosities. So we're kind of pushing into gravity. We're assisting. We're assisting in our own healing every time that we do yoga. Bringing the focus from the source down through with just that little bit of pressure on the ischial tuberosities. As we notice that deeper feeling, we might play with that, we might release all tension and then engage. We might release into the flow and then engage. Release and engage. So this is on a very, very subtle level. There's so many things that happen during our day just on the subtle level. Things that we allow to come in that we should just have a natural barrier up to, but somehow they sneak in. So we need to remember to get in the flow and then to add just maybe an awareness. Maybe it's not even a pressure, but an awareness, not a pushback. We know anytime that we push back, we're met with the same amount of force, so it just does no good. Although sometimes you do have to always stand up for yourself. And then we'll just soften into this pose. Let the knees drop open. Lead with the belly, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the crown of the head to the sky and drawing the chin to the throat. And notice the shoulders. And we might just gently move in a way that brings the upper body and the lower body into sync or into balance. Keeping in mind that that is different for everybody. Again, we have to become aware of where we're out of balance. What our intention is to come back to balance. And the actions that we take. So all three of those things are different for everybody. When we create a world to do yoga, even if it's a room or just taking our mat to the beach, we're tuning into that one-pointed focus of coming back to balance. And I think that we all have that intention. Whether it's this body, the collective, the earth, it's all about balance. Let's go ahead and come back in. And we'll draw the hands just below the knees. Sorry, I have an itchy nose. There's some allergies out there. And let's just go ahead with the hands hanging on. We'll just drop back. lifting the forearms to the sky, lifting the armpits, and then we'll bring the chest up and through and draw the chin towards the throat. And gently sitting up nice and tall. And we'll come off to the side. Ooh. It's time for a little bit of Shavasana. So again, creating that space. Take your time getting down today. Clear the space if you need to. Remember, our yoga practice is supposed to nourish us, give us a deeper sense of calm, allow us to let go of things that we don't need to be packing in our backpack. I'm going to go this way. All the way down. Stretch those arms out about 45 degrees. We'll just gently take the knees side to side. So we don't have to go all the way over today. We did a lot of work in the hip flexors. And then we'll come to rest. So the feet are kind of wide apart, so we're not really going for like a deep twisting stretch here. We're just allowing that space to lengthen. We've given it our one-pointed focus, our attention, and then we wait. Coming back to the center with the head, and we'll take it to the other side. Remember, those feet are far apart. And again, we just gently drop over. It's not about getting the knees to the floor, moving into a deep twist. We might feel an opening up here in the front of the body around the hip flexors. That's awesome. Gently coming back to the center. We'll walk those feet out and just let the pinky toes drop open. So we begin to focus for the next 3 to 4 minutes on just seeing how soft we can make our body. How deep we can melt into our mat. as we become as light as a feather. We allow things to drop back into place. We know that our bodies have this amazing ability to heal and be well, to restore and renew. We focus on the light from Source moving through every part of our body, every cell, down that fascial, interconnected highway. Lots of lights. Softening deeper into our mat, feeling light. If we have a hard time visualizing the light coming into the body, regenerating each thing, we can think about, because this is a Western medicine thing, we can think about getting an IV, and on the IV bag it says love. Think about that coming into your body, moving throughout your body, an IV of love. Feel it move through all parts of the body. And with that love moving through the body, those lights might become pink, red, blue, green, yellow. Purple. Filling the whole body. Right down to that ingrown toenail. Visualizing yourself, giving that one-pointed focus of being completely full of light, love, and energy. And seeing that light, love, and energy radiate out through your subtle body. You might even see some little starbursts coming off the body, shooting out. Moving out to find other light beings filled with love and energy. Creating a soul tribe, an energetic community. Bringing the focus back to the breath. We'll move into a full body stretch. Grace and ease today. So as we move through this day, we've come up to a soft seated position, I think. Go ahead and come up if you haven't. As we move through this day, let's have our focus and intention be on being in this state of mind all day, a state of grace and ease, higher awareness, a deeper connection to our body, mind, emotion, subtle body, energetic body, and to the energy that we allow in. So I just want to thank you guys for being here, and the Dharana is one-pointed focus. So it was all about yoga today. For me, I shared with you kind of what my body needed, and I hope that you got something out of that as well. It gives you an opportunity to maybe hear somebody who goes through different things where you can start communicating. Your inner physician will start communicating to you also what your body really needs, where you're out of balance, out of sync, not in a state of ease. So that's what the yoga is about, coming back to balance. Have a great day, you guys. Namaste. Peace.